that and introduce you to that. But if this isn't your first time, he can answer more questions that you may have, or stuff like that. But if you do have questions, feel free to ask. You can raise your hand. There's a raise your hand option. But you can feel free to unmute yourself and just ask your question, or you can type it in the comments. But if you do want to save it for the end, there is a Q&A at the end. But unless you do have questions, we ask you to keep your audio muted just to avoid any background noise and distractions, just so we can fully hear Ida and his explanation. But other than that, I think I'll hand it over to Ida and he can get us started.
Perfect. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. Hope everyone's having an incredible day today. My name is Ida. I've seen many of you before, and there's a lot of names on here that I've never seen before. To those of you who I've seen your names many times, thank you so much for being here. And I wanted to extend an apology. We for just one more week, this week as well, we're doing introduction calls to Green and the project for all levels of people of crypto and blockchain fluency. So I'm sorry that you may hear me say a lot of the things that you've heard me said in the past, but thank you again so much for being here. And just like Reagan said, we're going to be doing a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask. We just ask that we keep this relative to Green and not Connect and other companies. And we just keep all the Q&As questions to Green and what we could do there. But let's get started. My name is Ida. It's very awesome to be here. It's very nice to meet you guys. So I am the CBO at Green, and I actually started, I think, a little like 2 months ago now, full time, and it's been so fun. A little background about myself. I actually been in full time in blockchain, well, full time in tech since the age of 18, and full time in blockchain since I was 21. And since being in blockchain at 21, I've had an incredible lucky career where I've been speaking at the Blockchain Economic Forum. And I remember in 2017 in Singapore, and when I was in Singapore speaking there, I actually heard of a gentleman, Wright Thurston. And why I heard of him is there was a rumor back then that he was a well in Bitcoin mining, and he actually owned double digits of the total hash rate globally for Bitcoin mining. And it turns out the rumor turned out to be true. And how he was able to do this was actually by a software algorithm called Green. So this is 6 years ago now. Green started 6 years ago as a software that did three things. And what it did was A, let you know how much energy was used to mine Bitcoin. B, it let you know the exact source of that energy, whether it's clean energy, renewable energy, came from coal, just where it came from. And number three, it automatically changed all the miners, the Bitcoin miners, to be mining the most efficient and most profitable coin at any given moment. And because of this incredible software and quite a large infrastructure that Wright had, he was able to own double digits of the global hash rate for Bitcoin mining, which is just absolutely incredible. So Green started as a software and then actually evolved into its own token. So Green has been out for 4 years now. It started 4th of July, which is, as we know, it's an American holiday. It's American Independence Day 4 years ago. And the reason why we started on 4th of July is because Green's purpose is to set power free. And we wanted to rebrand 4th of July and give it to the world as Energy Independence Day. So 4 years ago, Green becomes a token. And Wright Thurston actually, he works with a few other partners, and he has been building this blockchain ecosystem for 4 years to just support Green. Within this ecosystem, they launched Gala. Gala was actually built like Gala nodes is actually just running Green smart node technology. Real quickly, what a node is a miner that mines cryptocurrencies, but unlike a Bitcoin miner that is mostly CPU and GPU and hardware based, which takes up a lot of physical space, which takes a lot of electricity, which the hardware gets outdated in 6 months or antiquated in a year or 2 years. Unlike that, it is a software based mining device. And he actually created like Gala, and Gala for the past few years was a top 5 blockchain project. And last year it was a top 3 blockchain project. And the nodes that mine Gala, just like Green, they actually started for friends and family very, very low years and years ago for $500. But then to the public, they released it for $5,600. And now they're around $92,000 per. So why Wright decided to build Gala first, it was to be able to fund and self-fund this entire ecosystem to support green and our mission. So I may be talking in circles a little bit because that's how I talk. I like to talk in circles. And that being said, if anyone has any questions whatsoever, please feel free to mention in the chat. Please feel free to raise your hand or chat. But at the end, I will be doing a Q&A. So I was in blockchain in 2017. I got exposed to Wright, heard about Wright back then. But I actually left the space. Me and my team, we have 3 exits in the blockchain space. We're the ones who started Crypto Profit back when I was 19 years old. We sold that to a company that's now called My Crypto. We wiretech the governance token, and we had the privilege of seeing that go from 20 cents to $80 and peak at number 49 popularity on Coinbase. I've been very blessed with a very, very solid team. There's about 5 of us core members, developers, marketers that are all world class. And I actually stepped away. We all stepped away from blockchain, even though we're all blockchain, and started whole careers in blockchain. Because no matter how much I loved cryptocurrencies and no matter how much I love blockchain, which is so much, and this was back in 2018, I stepped away because my gut was telling me, Ida, this is such a big bubble. It's such a big bubble. And trust me, like I've been trading cryptos for years and years and years, and I love cryptocurrencies. But the reason why I believed it was such a big bubble is because cryptocurrency is simply a speculative commodity. And at that time in 2018, we were living in the wild, wild west where anybody was just releasing their own white paper and doing an ICO and launching a horrible project and then just rolling back the blockchain. We even saw Litecoin, which was one of the biggest legitimate projects back then, roll back their blockchain in 2017. And I just thought to myself, what a beautiful concept. However, the execution and how it's being rolled out right now, it's way too early and it's still a bubble. Now, there are a few things we could do to change it from a speculative commodity. And in my opinion, those 2 things are: 1, make it easy to use your cryptocurrency like a real currency. As of right now, everybody buys Ethereum and buys Bitcoin or any other coin in hopes that it will just go up in value, and they hold on to it. And any transaction on chain is just people hodling, holding on to their Bitcoin or Ethereum or any crypto and just wanting other people to spend theirs, just so there's some transactions on chain. Um, and I've owned Bitcoin for years and years and years. I've owned Ethereum for years and years and years, and I've never used Ethereum to buy anything in the real world. Sure, I've used Ethereum to buy NFTs before, but that's just trading one speculative commodity for another speculative commodity. And back in 2018, this space was a lot more mucky than it was now, with a lot less clear guidelines from the SEC. And I actually stepped away from blockchain because I thought to myself, what a shame that such world-changing technology is being used by people just doing airdrops and ICOs with unlegitimate projects. Now, back to how we can make blockchain a legitimate project and how do we make blockchain truly adoptable for the world. We have to make it easy to use, very easy to use, and the ability to use it anywhere in any vendor. I don't want to call out vendors in the world and beg them to take cryptocurrency. No, I just want to provide them with a card in which they could swipe in real time. It liquidates, it converts their crypto into fiat, and it takes that fiat, which is what we've done. In our blockchain ecosystem, one of our projects is called Switch. And Switch is actually ran by Kathy Roberts, the co-founder and old former president of Discover Card. She actually invented credit card rewards in the early 80s. And what we have is an international card, soon to be compliant in 150 countries, in which you just swipe your green and it will take, any vendor will take the fiat currency of your local fiat currency. So just with the ability to use your cryptocurrency like real currency is fantastic. But number two, what the space has been missing is an incentivization for users to use their crypto. If I bought Ethereum at $1,000 thinking it'll go to 2, or if I bought it at 2,000 thinking it'll go to 3 or 5 or 10, why would I be swiping my Roth IRA? Why would I be swiping my investments, my 401k, every time I get gas or get groceries? It doesn't make sense. There is way too much FOMO for people to actually use cryptocurrency because people don't want to spend money that's invested in hopefully turning into a higher value asset. When I did my due diligence of Green and we were approached, my team was approached by Jonathan Gibbs, the president. If you have the pleasure of knowing him, he's absolutely fantastic. He actually single-handedly did the biggest solar roll-up the United States histories have seen. He built Lumio, was the founder of Lumio, which is on track to being the biggest residential solar company the countries have seen, worth about 5 billion, 5.5 billion. And Jonathan and I, we worked together for 5 months this year on my company. I was the CEO of a software company with my entire blockchain team. And together in just a few months, we were actually able to add $250 million of evaluation and value to my company while working with Jonathan for 5 months. And then all of a sudden, Jonathan says, "Hey, Ida, I know you're running this company and you've been giving it your all for 2 years now, but there's a project I need you to look at. And I know you stepped away from blockchain, but this project's going to make you come back." And as much love and respect I had for Jonathan, I still had a lot of skepticism. I then had the privilege to do my due diligence for the next month on the project, to meet everyone, to meet the engineers, to see the infrastructure, to see the hardware, to see the code, to meet Wright Thurston and hear his story and why he wants to give and why he wants to set power free and what he was able to envision and imagine 4 years ago that we're now finally able to have all the right moving pieces to execute on. And I am so honored to be here. What we have here is the world's very first blockchain project that does not just provide a way to put more on-chain transactions and make it very easy to use throughout the world, but it incentivizes its users to promote cryptocurrency and blockchain adoption via our Power Pay, in which we're actually using to set power free. Now, what does that mean? Power Pay is part of our card, our Switch card I talked about earlier, ran by Kathy Roberts, that could be used to swipe your green. And if you use your green to pay with your power bill, with your green on your Switch card, we actually use a mechanism called reverse staking, and we have a business model to go with it. We have a battery with 25 billion green, which is half the total supply, indefinitely locked up with a refill mechanism used to supplement the price of electricity worldwide to our users. But if you use green on your Switch card to pay for your power bill, you receive all that green plus a little reward back. We actually make the credit card interchange on our card like Visa does, the 2 to 3.5%. And that and some other methods that we do, we forward our profits 100% to the user So it doesn't matter if you buy green at a cent, thinking it's going to go to 50 cents or a dollar. You will now have no hard feelings spending your green, your 10,000 green or your 1,000 green or your 2,000 green at the 1 cent price point, because that's how you get green back. You get green by spending it on your power bill. Through our power pay, it's about on average, every 1,000 green you spend, you receive 1,010 back. Meaning, if you wanted to set power free for yourself, for a loved one, or for even a stranger, all you have to do is send them enough green to cover their very first electric bill, and they pay for it on with using green on their switch card. They will get more than they bill and what they spent back onto that card, and you've now set power free for that household indefinitely for life. And with our mechanism, because there's so many on-chain transactions to pay your power bill, to actually pay the card for the actual crypto to fiat liquidation and vice versa, there's actually 3 on-chain transactions per every single auto pay power bill. Meaning we get 100,000 people on auto pay, which is way below our users that we have in mind and we built this for. We now have 300,000 transactions per month on our chain. And if you know cryptocurrencies, if you know blockchain, if you wanted to look at a price chart of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then also a chart of their transactions and a number of on-chain transactions, it is completely a parallel chart between the two. So it was very, very cool. Actually, again, like I said, Jonathan and I, just with working with Jonathan, we were able to add an additional $250 million of value to my company, Squeeze, which is CRM, also in the renewable energy space. Me and my entire team, we stepped out. We thought about it, and I stepped down as CEO, and we had a 6-week transition, and I brought my entire team, and we're back in blockchain, and we're back at Green. And it's such an honor to be here. It's such an honor to be part of a fair launch project, because every single one of these projects have done a fork, a mine, an airdrop, an ICO. They're going to see backlash from the SEC, and they've already seen backlash, a lot of backlash from the SEC. We literally just witnessed Luna, which had a multi-billion-dollar market cap, literally hit zero and dissolve into nothing in front of our eyes. And that's unfortunately what's going to happen to 99% of all of these projects, which is why I did not find ethically okay to stay in the space back in 2018. But I am so happy to be here and to set power free via the introduction of reverse staking. But also, that is very much our micro ambitions. So 4th of July, our 4-year anniversary. It's going to be the very first time we went public. Why did it take 4 years for us to go public? It's because we've been building out the entire ecosystem, including the compliance, including the switch card, in order to support Green to scale, because it's been such an important project. I can't think of anything else I could do with my time that's not more important than what we're doing here at Green. You know, and everything what I was doing in my software world literally seem trivial. So 4th of July is Energy Independence Day, and we are launching in the UK. We will be following up with more countries after the 4th of July, and then also planning on launching the USA this fall. But we really wanted to launch in the UK to show that this is a global project. With that, there are a few ways to get green. You could get green via mining it, like I said, with the green node. And just to clarify again, super quick, a difference between a node and a miner is a miner uses traditional hardware, CPU, GPU, bandwidth to solve these crazy proof of work algorithms. The hardware becomes antiquated within a year, outdated in 6 months. What a green node is a software algorithm in which you can load 100 on your computer on a VPS server. We want to truly have a decentralized project, so we can only have 100 per person, and then they mine green. As of right now, they mine 640 to 600 green per day per smart node, and that's how you get green. There's only 100,000 green nodes, smart nodes available total in the world. And actually, in the past 4 years, just from the organic Gala community, without us selling or marketing anything, more than half, over 50,000 green smart nodes have already been sold. So we're sitting on just about 48,000 left. And what we want to do with this 48,000 smart nodes is because these smart nodes, if you know blockchain, you know they're a very important part of the ecosystem. They verify the transactions on the chain. And not just that, not just do they only mine rewards, but later our users are going to be actually who own the nodes are going to share and take part of all the transaction fees on our blockchain. So what we're doing with this remaining 48,000 smart nodes is we want to save them for people that we're calling our global business team. People who know the mission and vision of green, people who really want to help support green, adopt it in their business, help us with our solar farms, help us with our projects. We're providing them in a way to incentivize their efforts by having a way to monetize them. Now, these green smart nodes, again, they're on a smart contract. Gala nodes started at 5,600 bucks and now they're 92K. Our green nodes right now, our smart nodes, are $5,700 and $70, 5770, and we turned off the smart contract to the end of June for our global business team in our friends and family event. So right now, it's actually because again, it goes up $1 per node sold. So right now we've actually sold even 4,000 just 2 weeks ago. So we should, if the smart contracts were on, should be at 9,000 and a half per smart node already. But we're keeping this smart contract off just so our global business team could get in and have a way for when they promote green in the future, have a method to monetize. Let's go over the tokenomics of green real quickly. There are 100 billion green tokens, period. Of that, there's been about 37 billion mined already. Of the 37 billion mined, there are 25 of it that's locked up in a battery. And I'm very sorry. I apologize. I said there's 100 billion green. There's actually 50 billion green. I'm very, very sorry. I misspeak sometimes. There are 50 billion green. And of that, 37 billion have been mined already. And 25 is locked up in our battery that's used to supplement the cost of electricity worldwide. There are 100,000 nodes, and more than half have been sold already, with 48,000 smart nodes left. And with these smart nodes, you can mine them on a VPS server and claim your green rewards. And another method of getting green is by actually using green on your switch card to pay for your power bill and receiving a little bit back more. So those are the tokenomics. At today's price point per smart node, that's doing 680 green tokens per day. At a price point of a cent per day, that's on average $204 to $208 per day of USD. I mean, per month of USD per smart node. I would not be turning that into USD. I would be holding it and using it for your power bill with Switch. And also holding it as green because I can't speak on future price point, but I can speak on historical data. And we were able to see Gala go from 0.6 of a cent to 86 cents. So it's quite interesting. Yeah. So I have a question in the chat here, and it says, can you explain how the battery works? Will the battery run out? That is a very good, very, very good question. So no, the battery will not run out. What it is again, we put half of the total supply of green into our battery. And this battery is used to offset the different electricity costs internationally throughout the world for our users. There is a refill mechanism for this battery. There's actually a few refill mechanisms. One of them being the transaction fees that we make on Switch that we just use and turn it into green and have it to refill back into the battery. One of them is the most of it is actually refilled from our actual energy generation projects. So we are building 45 megawatt solar systems. We're also reconditioning and reopening 10 hydro plants. And we're doing many renewable energy projects throughout the world in which we are getting our team of global green business investors. We're starting solar farms to mine Bitcoin and green versus to mine what traditional solar farms do, which is just selling it to an energy retail desk. And we're actually having our investors donate a portion of their IRR, of their profit from the energy from these solar systems for it to supplement our battery. So it's a giant win-win because in the traditional space right now, when you sell a solar system to a retail energy desk, you make about 3 cents on your IRR. When you do it for Bitcoin mining, it's 10x at 30. So we get investors in on our green team and we take a portion of that delta of that IRR and we use it to refill our battery while they still have a cash flow positive good investment in a solar system. So that's how we refill our batteries. Very good question. So from my understanding, the Green Project is part of an ecosystem. With that being said, that the Green Project will return value for all the other organizations you have in the ecosystem. How do they all coexist? Very good question, Douglas. So green is not just part of the ecosystem, but green is actually the child, the baby of the entire ecosystem. The reason why we have an ecosystem is so we could have a truly decentralized infrastructure in order to help green hit its goals, which is reduce the cost of electricity globally by 90% in the next 5 years. That's a very ambitious goal. What do you need for that? A lot of freaking funding, a lot of revenue, which we did from the success of Gala, top 3 blockchain project, which is also what we launched from our ecosystem. What else do we need from that? Switch, a fintech product, in order to use and reverse stake with PowerPay or Green to get more back. What else do we need? We need compliance. What else do we need? We need developers. We need nerds. So every single project in this ecosystem is actually an own standalone, independent, incredible project, but also first and foremost here to support the true decentralization of green. Green is a fair launch project. It is truly the only cryptocurrency that I know of that is the most accurate to Bitcoin. I technically have to say I'm the CBO of Set Power Free, not Green, because nobody owns Green. It's like Bitcoin. It's decentralized. There's no company behind it. So we're behind Set Power Free, and we also developed the token and coin, but we're doing it completely decentralized, just like Bitcoin, on a similar mining schedule with the complete right compliance in order for us to be able to hit our goals, because we have very large ambitions with this. Is it a known the date of Switch coin to go live? Very good question. I cannot speak on that, but it's very close to our launch date, I could say. I don't know when exactly it will go live, but it's very, very, very close to our launch date, which is 4th of July in the UK for Green. Yeah, so just to summarize real quick, and I know we have some people with their hands up, so feel free to ask any questions, but just to summarize, my name is Zaida. I've been in tech since I was 18, blockchain since I was 21. Our team has had 4 exits, 3 of them being blockchain exits. And actually, just recently, a few months ago, stepped down as CEO from Squeeze.io, enterprise CRM renewable energy company that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, to come be here in a project that offers reverse staking protocols, the ability to actually use your crypto in order to help pay for your power indefinitely. And that's our micro ambitions with a 4th of July launch. You could grab Green by the Green Smart Nodes. Our macro ambitions are actually really, really, really cool and much more cool. They've been in the making for 4 years of actual hardware to set up microgrids throughout the countries to get energy off of the trappings of power lines and truly be peer-to-peer with a currency just backed by power that you could send to somebody that they could use for that dollar amount of power in their home. So that's a very slight glimpse into our macro ambitions, that we're working with people much smarter than I and global business leaders that many of us have heard of before to make that happen. So are you guys a DAO? Also, another question. Do you have plan to be listed in the exchange? From what I've seen, I cannot find green listed. Very good question, Douglas. So Douglas, we are not a decentralized autonomous organization. Uh, we, I guess we could kind of be classified as a DAO, but not really. We're just a crypto blockchain and a coin. Do we have DAOs within our organization? Absolutely. Do we have DAO set up? Absolutely. But Green itself is not a DAO. It is a token. How does your marketing plan look like, and when will this roll out? Very good question, Peter. We actually have very exciting marketing and a very big budget parked in marketing to roll it out and tell the whole world about Green and Energy Independence Day on the 4th of July. So we'll be rolling a little bit out over the next month, but it's mostly just going to be the 4th of July. And yeah, we have a lot in escrow for marketing, so everyone's going to hear about us. Any major publication that you could think of, we have an article with that we're going to be releasing. Why are we launching in the UK and not the US? What is the benefit positive launching there as opposed to anywhere else in the world? Very good question, Deb. The answer is because of compliance. Switch is an actual bank in 150 countries, and we're just working on our compliance on the last few countries, including the United States of America. We believe we'll be clear to be here in the United States by this fall. The UK, not only do we have a great organic community there, not only do we love and support the UK, not only is it a little tongue-in-cheeky that a US company is launching Energy Independence Day in the UK, but it's also they're completely compliant and ready to go there with our switch card. So it's also just an infrastructure matter of infrastructure. Where could we read about Green on Cointelegraph? LOL. That's a very good question, Franco. Maybe sooner than you think, Franco. Maybe sooner than you think. And perhaps we'll be reading about Ida and Jonathan and a few other members and Wright as well, but definitely a lot about Green. Do Green will have an app for smartphones can download to iOS/Android? Very good question. I am personally opposed of apps. I do not believe if we need to hold on to more liability, we need to. I do not believe that we I know the ecosystem wants us to build an app, and I'm very okay with building an app if the users vote that we want an app. However, with how much maintenance that goes behind building into app and the support with what we're doing, I truly believe it is the best to put all of our mental bandwidth on our ambitions of our microgrids or actual hardware technology, improving our blockchain, and then having a web app which is just our website and platform that's designed to be really fast with Android and iOS. So I don't think we're going to have an actual app that you download from an app store, but we will have a web app, which there's hardly any difference. And also, I read a question earlier that I don't see here anymore. Let me scroll up. So we purposely are not on any exchanges right now. You could actually find Green on Uniswap, and you could swap other tokens for Green right now, but we're purposely controlling our liquidity to keep the prices what they are right now. Green has about a 30% 24-hour volatility now, goes anywhere from 0.6 to 0.9 of a cent, maybe even a cent every single day, every 24 hours. And that's because we're not creating too much liquidity purposely. And that way, when we launch the world and get on the exchanges that Gala is on, then it's going to really help the price action there. Can you tell if Green owns chain is going to be faster than ERC20, going to have TPS, is going to have the utility to pay power bills? Very good question, Nicholas. So yes, it is going to be faster than the Ethereum chain. Now, the ERC20 chain is absolutely brilliant. If you know cryptocurrency, you know that the Ethereum chain is actually what it's called, like the builder chain in the crypto world. Most every smart contract, every DAO, every DApp, is written on the ERC20. However, because of that, they have so many transactions. In fact, the ERC20 dealt with 4 times the amount of transactions as than Visa last year, the monopoly of credit cards. ERC20 had 4 times the transactions in Visa last year. And because of that, we have to pay something ridiculous called gas fees. Now, what gas fees are is a fee you compensate all the networks and computers and nodes that are running on Ethereum that are doing the proof of stake to validate the transaction. And because there's so many companies running smart contracts in ERC20, there's just so much volume. So we do not think it's scalable. So we are releasing our own green chain. It is going to be very similar concept to Solana based. However, it's not Solana, as in there's not going to be gas fees on this chain, and it's going to be, yes, inherently built in faster. And how's this possible? Well, Ethereum's been out since 2013. And in the past 10 years of cryptocurrencies, we've been able to further a lot of technology and research. Ida, where could I find you on Facebook? That's a very good question. I'll put my name right here. I'm not active on Facebook whatsoever, but I do have a profile. I'm going to leave a few information. I'm going to leave my name, my phone number, my email. You could find me on Facebook, and I'm also going to leave Dawson. Dawson is the head of our concierge desk for our friends and family. He's absolutely incredible. We take Ethereum for our green smart nodes. So if anybody wants to join our global business team and take advantage of our smart contracts being paused at our floor price for our smart nodes, you can feel free to send Dawson a text and he will take care of you, get your node set up, make sure you're mining green rewards, and make sure you're all set. But that being said, I will leave my name and number here. And Ida is actually my Mandarin name. So I was born and raised in China, but my English name is Daryl Kemsley. So I will put my name right there. You could find me online, everywhere under Daryl Kemsley. And then here is I just go by my Mandarin name now. Feels truer to me than Daryl does. And I'm also going to leave Dawson's number here. Dawson is incredible and he will take care of you. Again, he'll help you get your node set up and get you start earning green rewards. With our smart license turned off, with our smart contracts off, it does take 24 to 72 hours to get your licenses to start generating rewards on your smart nodes. So it is better to obviously get that started sooner than later. Okay, and I'm going to read, so that is Dawson's number in there. So when will green list on a centralized exchange? That's going to be after our launch day on 4th of July. We're going to be listed on a few big exchanges, major exchanges, and also a few boutique exchanges that we really love and support. Who owns the biggest green wallet with billions of tokens? Are they all goes to the battery? So yeah, the biggest series of wallets is the battery. So half of the total supply, more than half of the supply in circulation now, because the total supply is 50 billion. Not 50 billion's been mined yet, but I believe there's 39 billion mined so far and 25 billion is locked up in this battery. I don't even have access to it. Jonathan doesn't have access to it. Wright doesn't have access to it. We set it up in a fair project way with its own battery refill mechanism. And when green hits $1, that's $25 billion that Wright Thurston gave away. And if it hits $10, then he's became the man in human history who's given the most away. So that's actually very exciting. Is the green project pulling away? Yes, and I will drop Dawson's email as well. Thank you, Deb. So I've been part of the project since the beginning of March. I've only heard of Connect. I know we've had a contract with them in the past for Connect to be able to sell green smart nodes. I know that we are working away from that, and I know that on our new system that we're launching on June 20th, we're going to have all the functionality of being able to share and refer and everything on our own Set Power Free green website. So yes, we will be pulling away. Okay, well, does anyone have any other questions? If you have questions, feel free to ask. If not, we could get wrapped up. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for the time here. It is so cool to be working on green, which is the world's very first cryptocurrency, or just currency in general, that's backed by power. It is literally the actual value of power that you could send peer to peer and use as a currency to in your day-to-day life, or exchange for that power to power your home, to power your device. And it's really cool to be back in blockchain from fintech, because in fintech, financial tech, what I ended up being, it was a successful company, sure, but I was just lead generation for financial institutions giving more people loans. And I much rather be building the new rails. And I truly believe when we set power free, the whole world, we can't even imagine the players in this world and what we're going to be capable of, because now we're going to be on fair fighting grounds, fully free to develop on our own, with the ability to literally focus on growth and abundance and scaling skills to better your community, rather than focus on pure survival, which so much the world is focused on because of their lack of access to electricity. Do you guys plan on having some events online? Example in Dubai? Absolutely. We love Dubai. We have a lot of community members in Dubai. So I think we're actually going to have in-person events in Dubai. But yes, we will be doing multiple online events as well. We'll be doing multiple online smart node owner invite only events as well, where we do like a few day seminars, let you know everything where we're at with green, all the people, all the electricity and households we're able to help, and where we are in our hardware, and how much electricity we set free in the world. So yes, we are planning on doing a lot of events, both in person and online. Are there any competitors to green? I hope so. I really hope so. Um, there's not, I know a lot about the space, and I don't know of people doing the power pay and reverse staking that we're doing. But I really hope that there's competitors to green, because we're not creating green to own the IP. We're creating green because we literally have the infrastructure on our earth right now, with the technology we have right now, to leverage technology and make electricity free for the world. So I really, really, really hope we get some competition for what we're doing, because that's just going to push our end goal closer to that. Are we opening the mic? Absolutely. You could feel free to interject. If you have a question, feel free to use your mic and feel free to talk. And we could plan on a Q&A for 5 more minutes. Will we be allowed to pay multiple power bills for those in need? Absolutely, Linda. Great question. Absolutely. Sorry that I think I talked over someone.
All right, how you doing? You hear me?
I am fantastic. Yeah, yes, I can. Not too loud, but I can.
Okay. So if we are sending people green so they can pay their electric bill, I assume that they are able to get the switch card. So that's the only way we're going to be able to send it. If they're getting the switch card, how would they apply?
Very good question. Sorry, I may have not heard your entire question because it was a little quiet. But yes, they will need a switch card, and it's not a credit card, so it's not like they're not going to be able to qualify. Obviously, we're focused on green. On the very first thing we're focused on is the bottom 20% of access to electricity of the population, and those people probably don't have a credit system or great credit in their country if there is a credit system. So everybody who applies will get accepted for the switch card. So if you send them the switch card, they go through the onboarding user experience, customer experience, to get it activated, and then you load them up with, let's say, 1,000 green on their balance to cover their very first electric payment. They will now have enough on that card to cover them and their electric bill for life, because they'll use that 1,000, they'll get 1,010 back. They'll use that 1,010 back for the bill the next month. They'll receive 1,030 back, and so forth. So yes, it will be that with the switch card.
Okay. I was trying to take my earpiece out. That's why you couldn't hear me before. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Much better.
Okay. So the other question was, as far as Oh God, I'm not gonna hold it up. It slipped my mind. I was trying to get the mic to work, but I'll probably type it in. Thanks.
No, feel free. Yeah, feel free to think about it, and feel free to interject whenever you do, because I'm sure multiple people have the same question. So thank you so much to anyone asking questions. And the call later will be done by Jonathan Gibbs, the president himself, at 4 p.m. today. It's either going to be it's scheduled to be done by him, but it may not be because I know how busy he is today. It may be done by our product owner, Caden Johnson, but most likely it will be done by Jonathan Gibbs later today at 4 p.m. And again, for this week, I will be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which means I'll be on tomorrow as well. I'm going to be doing mostly the same call of introduction based, but at 4 p.m. we'll do live Q&As where people could ask all their questions. So again, I'm so sorry for the people who are in multiple my calls. It's just for these couple weeks, we're doing a full introduction call every time. So you may hear me say a lot of the same information. That being said, anyone have any other questions? We could open this up for 4 more minutes, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be hanging with you guys today.
Okay, I was trying to give someone else a chance, but I think no one.
I think it's all you, my friend.
I got my question back. Oh God. Okay, so the smart nodes are turned off for right now. I'm seeing on when you go get the green, it's going up. So I know you said it's $1 per node that is sold, but with it being turned off right now, I thought the price was not going to change. At one point, it was $5,620, and now it's
Now it's
$5,700.
$5,770. Yes, it is. And
It's
I will take the responsibility for that. We are right now, I'll take the responsibility for that. I am very sorry. We are right now literally redoing the entire node system. We are redoing the entire backend. My tech team, because we come from a blockchain team, we literally got hired in and we're just redoing everything on Set Power Free for our launch on 4th of July. And because of that, there's a lot of math, there's a lot of coding that we're doing, and somebody on the team, we accidentally turned on the smart contracts overnight one night and then turn it back off 10 hours later after. So I will take full responsibility on that. Our friends and family prices is now $5,770, unfortunately, because the smart contract was on a little bit. But fortunately, the 4,000 cells was not processed through that night. That was processed before. So thank goodness it's not at 10 grand now. But yeah, it is now at $5,770. The smart contract is turned off. And our teams are just fully behind on the back end. So it's always tricky when you're developing something on a live product. So my apologies there.
Thank you very much. I was just really curious about that. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Of course, of course. Deb, yeah, my calls are going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. And at least for this week, there's still going to be introduction calls, going to be introducing the project, cryptocurrency, blockchain, because there's a lot of people who never invested in blockchain or cryptocurrency before. So it may be a lot of the same information, but for me, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and also confirm Jonathan is 4 p.m.s on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Exactly. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for the time, everybody. Alexander, good to see you. I hope you had safe travels yesterday. Good. Thanks for making it on, even though it's right at the very end.
Oh, no,
I hope
missed it.
Hey, at 4 p.m. though, 4 p.m. will be great today. It will probably be hosted by Jonathan, if he can make it. I know he has a very, very, very busy day today. But yeah, I'm very excited, and I'll be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. the exact same time, and I'll be here ready to answer all the questions that we have, and I'll be here to go through another dive of what we're doing and why I'm so excited to be here. So thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you, guys. All right, thank you.